This is 3.1, factoring trinomials of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. This first part, 3.1, is actually a direct review from grade 10, which is good. I also find a lot of you do need a little bit of a reminder of what we did. So when it comes to factoring, we could talk about factors of what you can pull out of common things. So if I have the number like 6 and 8, if we talk about what's called a common factor, that's basically if we listed off all the multiples of each of these, 6, 3, 2, 1, 8, 4, 2, and 1. A common factor is basically one that they would share together. The highest one is usually one we care about, which would be 2, technically also 1. Okay? We're not really going to talk about that. We're going to assume you understand common factors fairly easily. We care about two types of factoring. There's simple trinomials and what's called complex trinomials. A simple trinomial is where you have x squared plus bx plus c. Basically, there's no term in front of your x squared term. So if we have something like x squared plus 6x plus 8, okay, this is considered a simple trinomial because we don't have anything in front of our x squared. We have no coefficient. Okay. We'll first talk about the steps about how to solve this and then go through that. So we're doing 2 steps to this. We're going to look at your trinomial and we're going to find the two numbers that add up to your middle term and then multiply to your last term. Different ways to do this, and be able to make a chart at the end. Hopefully by this point you can kind of look at 6 and 8 and realize, well, I know that 2 and 4 would work for the situation, because 2 plus 4 gives me 6 and 2 times 4 gives me 8. You're then going to take the variable, in this case x, and you're going to take one of your terms, so this is going to be positive 2, and then make another binomial, so x and positive 4. If you wanted to check if this works, you can still expand this, and it will give you the exact same answer. So x times x is x squared, x times 4, 4x, 2 times x, 2x, and 2 times 4 is 8. When you combine all like terms, we get, indeed, x squared plus 6x plus 8. These are simple trinomials, and by this point in time, we're kind of wanting you guys to be able to do these fairly quickly and without a whole lot of effort put into them. 3.1, we're actually starting with complex trinomials. And complex trinomials they're complex because you have that coefficient in front of your x squared. So it actually is the form ax squared plus bx plus c. And that a out front, or that number out front, makes life significantly harder. So if we have a term 4x squared plus 20x plus 9. Now, before we do anything else, I'm going to tell you right now that your step 1 is always going to be try to simplify. Because if I can pull a number out of 4, 20, and 9, then I could simplify this down to a simple trinomial. It will make this a very quick and very easy question. However, in our situation, 4, 20, and 9, we can't pull anything out, so this will be a complex trinomial. We have to follow through the rest of the steps. Okay, so a couple steps here. Step 1 is you're going to always try to simplify. We can't do that. Step 2 is we check if it's solvable by basically multiplying your a and c together. We're going to find a multiple that multiplies to this and also adds to b. That's also part of step 2 you have to do as well. So for us, so 4 times 9, I know that that is 36. So I have to find a term that multiplies to 36 and also adds to 20. So I can take a couple of this, I go through your list of multiples for 36, and I realize that 2 and 18 will multiply to 36 and add to 20. So 2 and 18 is kind of a useful term. Unlike last time, where you just now write x2 and x18, that will not work because we won't get that coefficient out front. Instead, we rewrite your whole trinomial, but instead of 20x, you're now going to break it apart into your two factors. And the order doesn't really matter, because however you change your order, it won't change your answer at all. So we're going to go 2x plus 18x plus 9. So I've rewritten this, broken apart into its two factors. I'm now going to look at this and kind of treat the whole thing as a left side, right side. And your goal is you want to pull out all the factors you can from one side and all the factors you can from another side. Now what you should be left with are two identical binomials. So 4x squared and 2x, I know that I can pull out a 2x from both of these. What I'm left with is 2x plus 1. So my goal is I want to pull something out of here so that I'm left with 2x plus 1. I know that if I pull a 9 out of this, I will indeed get 2x plus 1. Your last step is you're basically taking the two terms you pulled out and you're going to put them together. So 2x plus 9, I get 2x plus 9 as one binomial. And then one of your other binomials that you pulled out that was the same. It's going to be 2x plus 1. And again, you can always check your answer by plugging it back in and expanding. You should get 4x squared plus 20x plus 9. We'll try one more of these and I'll give you guys the work for today. Alright, so we'll give you guys the example of (3x squared minus 13x minus 10). Step one is to always try and simplify, and unfortunately we can't pull anything out of this. So I go 3 times negative 10. So I have negative 30. I have to find something that multiplies negative 30 and adds to negative 13. So it multiplies there, and has to add to negative 13. I know that positive 2 and negative 15 would multiply and add, so we're good there. I then rewrite this with my middle term broken into its two. So 3x squared plus 2x minus 15x minus 10. Okay. Left side, right side, break it apart and see what I can pull apart. So 3x squared plus 2x. I can really only pull out an x from that. What I'm left with is 3x plus 2. Negative 15x minus 10. Again, my goal is to try and get 3x plus 2. So if I pull out a negative 5, because negative 15 divided by negative 5 gives me 3x, and negative 10 divided by negative 5 gives me a positive 2. Your goal is to get the same binomial. If you don't get the same binomial, you've probably messed up somewhere. I then take the two terms I pulled out. I'm going to have x5 and multiply that by one of my binomials, 3x plus 2. And again, this should be a review from last year. It's nothing new, but it's good to kind of review this and make sure you guys really have a solid understanding before we go. Your homework is going to be on page 181. We're going to do questions 4 ABC, 5 ABC, 6 ABC, and all of question 7. If you have any questions or concerns, please fire me an email. I should be back very soon. Good luck.